Hey guys, welcome back. Got our power supply. Let's finish up this rig. Last video, basically we had set up our mining frame, talked about where to get them. We got a motherboard, RAM, processor, cooler. We've got our PCI splitter. We've got GPU risers intact. We also talked about this last time that this splitter is going to allow this motherboard to do about 6 GPUs, which is perfect for a frame like this. Some things that I'm going to go ahead and add now are going to be a power cable. These actually come with most mining frames. You can pick them up on Amazon or eBay really cheap. It's just a regular computer on and off switch. And the way that you would find where to plug this into, it's usually some of the pins down here. And let's see. And it actually says right down here, power. And if you look, I think it's going to be these last 2 pins here. You can look at your motherboard manual online, but look for the pins that say power. You may have to test them a couple times. You may have to flip-flop back and forth the end piece or the 2-pin connector. It only works one way, so it may go that way, it may go that way. Try it out. Let's go ahead and plug this in really quick. So the next thing that we're gonna need is some sort of cooling. On this GPU rig right now, I'm gonna just run 2 graphics cards because this power supply that I bought, accidentally, it only has 2 PCI ports, or 2 PCI 6-pin, or actually these are 8-pin. And essentially I can only run 150 watts. I know that this power supply says 550 watts, but you do not want to run more than 150 watts off of a single PCI cord. So these actual 8 pins are not rated up to 500 watts. This is 75 watts and this is 75 watts. You do not want to run any more than that, otherwise you will burn these connectors and potentially start a fire. So what we're going to go ahead and do is put the power supply into the actual frame, and then we're going to mount up a fan. So the fan that I have today is going to be a Corsair. I believe this is like 120 millimeter. And essentially, the way that this is going to work is on these frames, you have these mounting points. You can go ahead and zip tie them on, or you can bolt them in, either or. Okay guys, so now we've got the fan mounted up. It's plugged in. We've got our PCI risers, have power now. We went ahead and used a Molex connector. And you're probably saying, Ryan, Molex, what's going on with that? For low powered cards, that is completely fine. These cards are gonna take about 50 watts of power. So to take and these are rated at about 25 watts. So 25 watts here, and then I have 75 watts out the top of the card with the PCI connector. So that's going to be perfect for this kind of a setup. If you're using something bigger than like a 1660 card, I would not run a Molex connector. Obviously, consult the algorithm that you're running. Something like Ravencoin is going to use a ton of wattage, and I wouldn't be able to run these P106s or 1060s or 1660s on this kind of rig. It would use too much power and it would fry the connectors. So I'm going to be mining Caspa on something like this, maybe Flux. Caspa at least is pretty low wattage. Flux is kind of in the middle. It's not as intensive as something like maybe Ravencoin. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get the GPUs plugged in. We're also going to go ahead and plug in our flash drive with Hive, and then plug in Ethernet, and we will be ready to mine. Okay guys, so we have the GPU rig inside of the Coinology mining farm, or mining tent. And we have Hive loaded on a flash drive. We have Ethernet. We have a power cable to the power supply. Let's go ahead and turn this thing on. Okay, so it took a couple times playing around with the power cord. But if you look closely, that is the pin setup that I had to use for this motherboard. I had to move it around a little bit. I had to try a couple different pin configurations, but it's powered on now. It looks like it's booting. We'll go ahead and go into the Hive shell and put in some overclocks, put in an algorithm, and get it mining. So jumping over into Hive, our GPU rig has started. It's loaded up Hive. We've logged in. Now we're in the interface, and it looks like it's working great. Both P106-100s are running. They're hashing. This one obviously has a little bit better silicon lottery. But yeah, they're running great. Look at this. I mean, it's got to be a little bit warmer by now. Yeah, these things are using almost no power. 50 watts each, running great. 305 mega hash on Caspa right now. But yeah, that's it. We're up and running. This rig, as well as others, are going to be up for sale. This GPU rig I'm going to sell with 2 cards. The whole frame, the motherboard. I'm gonna also put in a couple more of the PCI risers so you can expand the power supply. But yeah, I'm gonna be posting this up on my Mercari. As I've shown you in the last couple videos, I have a couple other rigs for sale: an L3++, an L3 Plus, a 1060 riserless motherboard, GPU rig, some some P106 1060 cards for sale. Right now I'm trying to save up to buy a Jazz miner. So if you can help me with that, that'd be awesome. Obviously not everybody can do that, but if you can like, comment, and subscribe, that would be amazing. That's a huge help to me. It's a huge support to the channel. And thanks for joining me, guys. Please let me know if you have any questions. Just post them down below, and I will do my best to answer any of them. Thank you so much. Have a good day.